I think our challenge right now is just learning them, getting to know them and what their needs are, helping them adjust to a whole new world they've never lived anywhere else before.
Astra and Lyrica are two of the newest attractions at the Point Defiance Zoo in Tacoma. Both cubs are 3-year-old twin sisters who were recently brought in from the Detroit Zoo. And while seeing just one of these large animals in person can be entertaining, the zoo and climate awareness advocates say these cubs can teach the local community a lot about climate change and its consequences.
And I would say that's where Arctic Ambassador Centers like Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium play a huge role. You have hundreds of thousands of visitors coming through the gates every year. And we know from social science research that those visitors are coming to the zoo and expecting to hear from zoo and aquarium staff with a really high level of trust about wildlife conservation and what you can do to help.
Due to warming seawaters and rapidly melting ice, polar bears are facing a crisis that threatens their existence.
Polar bears are perfectly suited for a life upon the sea ice. And so sea ice loss due to climate change is their single biggest threat. And the reason that the bears are listed as vulnerable on the IUCN's Red List of Threatened Species. And so it's critically important that we're sharing that message, worldwide.
While these cubs are in human care, there's a lot that can be learned from them to help those who are in the wild.
Really trying to understand what bears need from a nutritional standpoint, testing it and trialing things with bears in human care really helped us understand what wild polar bears need to survive, and that helps reinforce the message that protecting the sea ice so that they can hunt seals is the most important thing we can do.
Point Defiance Zoo and Polar Bears International are both hoping that, if anything, the addition of these cubs can get the community talking and taking action on climate change.
The research shows us that the majority of Americans believe that climate change is real, but they're self-silencing, right? And so they may not feel like they have the right tools or the right information, which is where Point Defiance Zoo puts themselves in a leadership position of sharing that information here at the polar bear exhibit. And when we're talking about climate change with our friends and our families and our colleagues and our business and our civic leaders, we can really move the needle in unforeseen ways and change the conversation.